I go for refuge until enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations or practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations or practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations or practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Sanje joda zoge jonam lo chanju bado dane yapso che dage jinso kebe sonam tola benjir sanje du bara jo sanje joda zoge jonam lo chanju bado dane yapso che dage jinso kebe sonam ye tola benjir sanje du bara jo sanje joda zoge jonam Chanjo bardo dane gyabzo je dage jinso kebe sonamgi tola benjire sangye rubare sho. Next page. Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum te shamdatha gato yavatat Esham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaye swaha Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum tejam nathagato yavatat Tesham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaye swaha Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum tesham dathagato yavatat tesham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaye swaha. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation causes as well is taught by the great seer. Okay, there's one question which reads, the idea of the color green, is it permanent or impermanent? Idea of the color green, is it permanent or impermanent? This question. When I speak about the idea, concept, idea of permanent, idea of green, idea of the color green, concept of the color green. The English word, these words are a little ambiguous. There's ambiguity there. The idea is a connotation of the objective element, connotation of the subjective element. Idea that comes to your mind, that is subjective. Idea of emptiness, idea of the blueprint, idea of the blueprint for the upcoming house. So there's the blueprint there. Objective. So if it is the object idea, this is the more the image that comes to your mind, that is permanent. Mental image, we technically is known as generic image. And then those of you who are hearing this word for the first time, generic image, meaning generality of the green. So these, I don't think that the jargons are coming up. These are all the many seniors, you feel free to ask them. Okay, just note them down. Meaning generality of the green color. Meaning generality of green color or generic image of the green color. In Tibetan, it is tunji. Tunji. Jangu means green. Tunji is the meaning generality or generic image of green. So it simply means that in your mind, green comes to your mind. In mind, your flower comes in your mind. So the what image comes to your mind when you think, that image is known as meaning generality, as simple as that. And if you are referring to that, the meaning generality of the green color that comes to your mind, that is permanent. And then that the concept or the idea, the mind which thinks about the green, that mind is impermanent. So this is how we have to distinguish, because that these words, concepts, concept again has the ambiguity there, objective concept and subjective concept. Okay, so now we have to go through the text. So here we are talking about the dependent origination, the 12 links of dependent origination, which says that the ignorance causes formation or the karma and so forth. For this, we have to go through the book. Which page is it? 12 links of dependent origination. 328, okay. So I'm not going to go into the details. I'll just go through the painting, explain the painting, and we have to learn. We have to learn the 12 links of dependent origin, the concept well. So for this, if you look at this painting, and now that we already learned, how many of you have this verse by heart, which we said yesterday? Ceasing of karma afflictions is nirvana. Karma afflictions arise from conceptual thought, which in turn arises from elaboration of self-grasping ignorance, and the elaboration ceases through the wisdom of emptiness. Okay, if you don't have this by heart, don't worry. We talk in this verse, there's mention of the 5 points. What are the 5 points mentioned in this? Okay, Dedana. Okay. Samsara. Okay, anyone else? Contaminant karmas? Afflictions? Inappropriate attention? Self-grasping ignorance. Okay, how many of you have these 5 points on your fingertips? Okay, and on your fingertips, which means whether looking at the books, right? Okay, the Bandila. Yes. Samsara. Contaminant karmas. Afflictions. Wow, this is amazing. Thank you. Okay, so in a way, what Tenzin Bandila is encouraging us to do is to make all these on our fingertips, bring them on our fingertips, right? So this is very important. If you have the verse, that would be wonderful, because this verse is by Aranyagārjuna, and at least if you don't have this, the verse on your fingertips, then the 5 points: samsara, contaminant karmas, afflictions, inappropriate attention, self-grasping ignorance. Okay, these 5. So if you look at the painting, Ajit, yours one and the Peter's one seems to be like the old version, because the painting you see that, yes, paintings we see that one is very bright color, very clear, and the other one is not so bright. Wow. Okay, Jingman is so kind. Ajirji, he wants to share with you. Okay. Thank you. Look at the painting. So in the first place, on this painting is known as the Wheel of Life painting. The Wheel of Life painting. And we need to know the background story of this. The seniors, they already know that. The newcomers, we need to know the background story of this painting. It was at the time of the Buddha. And in fact, this painting was actually commissioned by the Buddha himself. And there were two kings. Of course, there were many kings in those days, particularly two kings involved with this painting. The one, King Udrika, Udriana, and the other king, Bimbisara. Two kings were there. And of the two kings, King the Udriana, he was from a bigger empire, wealthier, and King Bimbisara, modest. And then King Udriana, as this gesture of friendship, he sent a present to King Bimbisara. A present what? Armor. An armor made of jewels, gems, gemstones, precious stones, very expensive. And King Bimbisara, instantly he was extremely excited, so happy over this beautiful present. But the next moment, he was very, say, sad or little stress, not very, little stress for the reason that, okay, now what to repay? Because he's from a smaller kingdom, less wealthy, so he would not have something of the same value as what he got. So he was little concerned, stressed. So he didn't know what to do. And the matter was reported to the Buddha. The King Bimbisara, matter was reported to the Buddha. And the Buddha said, "Don't worry. What you do is you send one of the best painters to me." And the painter was sent to the Buddha, and then the Buddha gave the instruction how to paint. Buddha gave the instruction of this painting. This painting actually is the outcome of the Buddha's instruction. And after the painting was done, then the Buddha handed over to King Bimbisara, informing him or advising him that now this is going to be the present to King Udriyana. Then King Bimbisara was so happy because this is coming from the Buddha. It's so precious, and nothing can compare with this gift. So with great excitement, he sent a message to King Udriyana that, okay, please come on the battlefield. Usually the field where the wars are waged, battlefield with your cavalry, soldiers, the whole army. And King Udriyana was extremely angry. I sent him presents and he's asking me to come to the battlefield. He was so angry. And there was a wise minister of King Udriyana, a wise minister. And the minister said, "Your Highness, why should you have to be worried? Why should you be upset? If he asks you to come for a battlefield, go. Let's go. Fight, and we'll defeat him. We'll conquer his empire. And there can be some other reason. We never know. Let's go. In any ways, you are more stronger, so you can easily conquer him." And then King Udriyana was more calm. Then he did as King Bimbisara instructed. And then from the other side, King Bimbisara and his soldier, the whole army was coming towards him. And somewhere at one point, King Bimbisara stopped, and then he got off his horse, and he and one or two ministers came with something held in his hand. And King Udriyana, also out of respect, okay, now this is not for war. So he also got off with his 2 or 3 ministers, went to his King Bimbisara. Then King Bimbisara handed over this, say, some scroll, and handed over to and said, "This is my gift for you." And King Udriyana was so confused. What is this? So he took it with respect. He went to the palace and then unfolded. And this painting was draped in 5 different layers of cloth. So different colors, very expensive cloth. And King Udriyana was confused. Why it is draped in such expensive cloths, and that 2 different colors? Why this painting is very special. So inside it was just a painting, And then he unfolded the painting and he was just looking at it. So look at it. So this is exactly what King Udrian was doing, looking at the painting. And then he was studying this. He was studying this, studying meaning what is there, out of curiosity, studying. And then he noticed the one figure at the top right, outside the wheel, top right. What is there? The Buddha was there. And he asked, who is this guy? Right? And the king, the wise prince, no, wise minister, he said, don't say guy. This is a full awakened one. And who is full awakened? What do you mean by full awakened one? The one who is already, who is freed from samsara. And where is he? He is in King Bimbisara's palace. King Bimbisara's kingdom, not palace. King Bimbisara's kingdom. So why is he staying there? Oh, King Bimbisara's devotion to the awakened one is enormous. So the awakened also takes care of King Bimbisara. King Bimbisara, disciple of the one, the awakened one, the Buddha. So therefore, the Buddha is residing in the grove of King Bimbisara. And then the King Udriyana said that I also like to bring the Buddha to my place. No, you cannot invite him like this. You have to discuss with King Bimbisara. So King Bimbisara then became very important. So in order to invite the Buddha Shakyamuni. So this is how this painting came into being. And then also that you must have seen this. Where do you see this painting? Where? Usually where? In the monasteries where? On the altar? Outside? At the facade of the main door, or the outside the wall of the monastery. Again, this is also the tradition which the Buddha advised, which came to being the advice of the Buddha. Buddha advised that this painting must be painted on the outside of the monastery wall, and then a learned monk scholar should be appointed to explain this to the pilgrims. Whoever comes to visit the monastery, the learned scholar should explain these things, because that in future, the greatly learned enlightened beings like Shariputra, this era will go away, will disappear, and then this tradition must be maintained. So the learned scholar must be appointed to explain this. It is because of this that in the olden monasteries, many of the olden monasteries, for example, you go to Sikkim, Ladakh, Arunachal, and South India, say the facade of the wall outside the main temple, you see this painting there. And once you learn what this painting is, what the painting should have, we may come to discover that some of the paintings are wrongly painted. You're getting it? So we need to know what the actual painting should be like, and the painters may not necessarily be philosophers. So painters, some painters, they are painters, philosophers, multi-talented, but then some, they're just painters. They have no philosophical idea, so they try to do something, modify things, right? And then it can go wrong. Okay, so what the painting should have, if you look at it, we talked about the 5 points which Aranigarjuna taught. What is the verse? Ceasing of karmas and afflictions is nirvana. Karmas and afflictions arise from conceptualization, if you want to add it, conceptualization of inappropriate attention, and which in turn arises from the elaboration of self-grasping ignorance. The elaboration ceases through the wisdom of emptiness. Okay, so from this verse, we take out 5 points. The 5 points, which are samsara, which is the way we suffer, the place where we suffer, samsara, and the immediate cause of that is contaminant karmas. Immediate cause of that is afflictions, and the immediate cause of afflictions is inappropriate attention or conceptualization of inappropriate attention, which in turn is caused by self-grasping, elaboration of self-grasping ignorance. So we need to know the 5 points. If you know the 5 points so well, then you will know the painting very easily and quickly. Okay, of the 5 points, what we can say is that if somebody were to ask you, what is the cause of the miseries in samsara? You can you can safely say, and say in a very easy way, that contaminated karmas are afflictions too. But here we identify 4. The first one is misery, the result, and the remaining 4, therefore, but what we are saying is only 2, contaminated karmas and afflictions. So what about the other 2? Inappropriate attention and self-grasping ignorance. These 2 are also afflictions. These are afflictions. Why then the afflictions counted separate is the affliction in the context of the 5 points. That affliction refers to the gross affliction. That affliction refers to the gross affliction. For example, anger, attachment, jealousy, craving, greed, and so forth. It refers to the gross afflictions. And the gross affliction and the other 2, they are subtle afflictions. They are the subtle afflictions. So if you say affliction in general, all the 3 are included. Elaboration, self-grasping ignorance, inappropriate attention, plus the gross affliction. All 3 are included. So we can safely say that the cause of suffering is twofold: contaminated karmas and afflictions. You're getting it? Okay. Once you know that, now we go to the painting. Okay, good. If you look at in the first place, we see that this wheel is also known as the wheel of life with 5 parts. 5 parts. 5 parts meaning, in Tibetan, Sipokolo Changapa. In Tibetan, Changapa means with 5 parts. 5 parts, it simply means that where we suffer, the samsara that we suffer in, it is made of 5 parts, meaning the 3 lower realms and the 2 higher realms. What are the 3 lower realms? Hell realm, hungry ghost realm, and animal realm. Okay, these are the 3 lower realms, and then 3 higher realms: human realm and Devan Devi, or God, the God realm, or God Goddess realm, 2. And the God Goddess can be split into 2. God Goddess can be split into God Goddess and Asuras. God Goddess and Asuras. Asuras, they're also gods. They're also God Goddess, but the only difference is that, for example, say amongst human beings, when we see that there's a mischievous boy or mischievous girl, we say, you are not even a human being. It's a human being, right? We say that you are not even a human being. Means that you are very naughty or so. Likewise, within the God, there are 2 categories. One, there are two camps, 2 groups. 2 groups. One is more like very standard, and the other one is a little jealous of the first one. So 2 of them, these 2 groups, oftentimes have wars, and so the second category, we call it asuras. Okay, and so the asuras, they are classed by birth. They are considered to be having the element of jealousy. And asuras, generally speaking, they are considered as very intelligent, extremely intelligent, but there's an element of jealousy by birth. So there is asuras and the god and goddesses. But we can club them together as God. They are actually gods and goddesses. So we can club them together. So in the higher realm, there are 2: human realm and the god and goddess realm, Deva realm, 2. And in the lower realm, there are 3, total 5. This is known as the wheel of life with 5 parts. Now, so to go deeper into this, the idea is how our miseries come into existence, how we are trapped in samsara. So, what do you find in the wheel, the innermost? What do you find there? Okay, particularly those who are new to this painting, just tell me. Okay, stuff.
Ignorance, which gives rise to attachment.
Are you new to this painting or not? Okay. So how you explained it, you are explaining so beautifully. So I could figure that you're not new to this, and I said new. So this group. Okay. So what do you see there? Vedant, what do you see there? Innermost.
I see animals.
3 animals are there, right? Okay. So these 3 animals, from what we said of the miseries that what we do is that we try to correlate the 2 things. Meaning, we talked about the Nagarjuna's verse. 5 points are there. And then now we have this wheel of life painting. We try to correlate the 2. From Nagarjuna's verse, what is the cause of miseries? From the Nagarjuna's verse, what's the cause of miseries? Contaminated karmas and afflictions, right? So the innermost, affliction, the immediate cause of miseries is karmas, contaminated karmas, and the cause of karmas is afflictions, in a loose sense, afflictions. So the innermost, what you see there in the innermost circle, that depicts the afflictions. And what do you mean by afflictions? What do you mean by afflictions? Affliction is defined as the mental factor, a mental factor, presence of which disturbs your mind. Affliction is defined as a mental factor, presence of which disturbs your mind. For example, anger, it disturbs your mind. Like attachment, it disturbs your mind. And oftentimes we may say, no, I don't agree with this, because with attachment, there's no disturbance. It's pleasant. But actually, it's disturbance. We will not know this when we are in the grip of attachment. When do you know that it's disturbance? When the attachment subsides, you can feel the freedom. And more so, if you get a glimpse of emptiness, then you see that the mind, when in the grip of the attachment, is so much in turbulent state, which you will know only when you get a glimpse of emptiness. So actually, it is very disturbing. So affliction is defined as a mental factor, the presence of which disturbs the individual. Okay. So the innermost, we see that there are 3 creatures there. These 3 creatures, they depict the 3 classes of the 3 classes of our afflictions. In other words, afflictions. And afflictions are of 3 classes, 3 groups. For example, let's say when we see something pleasant, what happens? Our mind is pulled, attachment. When we see something unpleasant, our mind is pushed, aversion. You're getting it? So the first creature which you see there is a bird. Bird symbolizes attachment, desire, attachment. And the second creature is a snake, symbolizing aversion. Don't think that a snake is angry by nature. No. So, but it is our response. When we see the snake, we get a feeling of the fear, and it's like the aversion comes. It's not that the snake is because of the birth. It's like this. Snakes also are afraid of us. So the point is that our reaction to the snake is symbolic. So snake symbolizing our aversion, how our mind reacts. Say pleasant things happen. What happens? Your mind is pulled by the object, that is attachment, depicted by the bird. And then when you encounter with unpleasant experiences, your mind is pushed, that is aversion, depicted by the snake. And then when you have the neutral feelings, then mind goes into ignorance, that is depicted by the pig. You're getting it? These are the emotions. These are 3 afflictions. And we can say all the afflictions can be grouped into these 3 families: family of attachment, family of aversion, and family of ignorance. Okay, these are what drives us into accumulating the contaminated karmas. So what is in the second circle? Particularly those people who are seeing this painting for the first time. Tell me, speak. Yes. What do you see in second circle? Huh? You don't see anything. That's interesting. I think there's something there in the second circle. I deliberately, brought this painting, included this. There should be something there. Okay, the good. What do you see? Just don't interpret. Just see. Tell me what is there in second circle. Dejanla.
Black and white.
Dejanla, you see the painting for the first time? What happened to your ear? Dejanla, I'm joking. Okay, Dejanla is actually speaking on behalf of those people who are seeing this for the first time. She's saying that don't waste our time. Be very straight away, black and white. The second wheel is split into two, black and white. Okay. Black and white has nothing to do with black. White means good, black is bad. No, it has nothing to do with this. It's just purely symbolic. Purely symbolic. The white hair and black hair, which is better?
Yeah. White. White. For me, it's white.
Okay. So when you are stressed, you are better. When you're stressed, then the hair becomes white very quickly. Right? Okay. So in fact, in some cases, black is amazingly beautiful. White is not considered too good. In some cases, white is good. It's purely conventional and situational. You're getting it? It has nothing to do with black-white. It's just symbolic. So, with afflictions, give rise to what? Contaminated karmas. So, second circle depicts the karmas. Contaminated karmas. Let us be more precise. Don't just say karmas, say contaminated karmas. Because karmas, there are two kinds. Contaminated karmas and uncontaminated karmas. There are two kinds of karma. And they say the whole wheel is in the mouth of? Hey Didi, the whole wheel is in the mouth of?
I don't remember his name.
Okay, demon, yes. Don't interpret, just look at it, right? So demon, yes. So which means in the demon's mouth is not good. Uncontaminated karma is very good. It cannot be in the mouth of the demon. So the white here refers to the contaminated positive karmas. Contaminated positive karmas, and the black part symbolizing the what? Negative karmas. You getting it?
Could you give a small explanation of this contaminant?
Very good question. Thank you. Wow. Didi, don't run away. You should be there because you are able to pinpoint the exact things which we all want to hear. What exactly does mean by contaminated? You are talking about contaminated karma, uncontaminated. What do you mean by contaminated? This is a good question. Okay, first to talk about contaminated, we need to know contamination. Contamination. If you know what contamination is, then contaminated makes sense. Contamination, don't interpret in your own ways. You're getting it? These are very standard concepts. Don't interpret in your own ways. For example, say like when I say don't interpret in your own ways, you feel as though like you are now like put in a tight jacket, right? You have lost your freedom. Don't interpret in your own ways. You have lost your freedom. Some people think like this. Why I'm saying this is if you interpret in your own ways, you will never get the concepts. Do you know why? If you interpret in your own ways, there's a problem. If you know the problem, then you will appreciate what I'm saying. If you interpret in your own ways, the words in the context of contaminated karmas. Contaminated means we have to know contamination. What is contaminated? Contaminated means something which is tainted like this, right? Okay, don't interpret in your own ways. These are very technical words. So if you interpret in your own ways, what's the problem? you will never get the concept, right? And for this, okay, what happened? Jigmela is helping Ajirji. Okay, good, thank you. So now, say we need to know how to read the words according to the particular context, right? For example, this is a very important thing that I usually share. This, I think I also shared this in here in this hall last year as well. Say, if you interpret things in your own ways, if you don't think about the context, you'll be in problem. What kind of problem? Say there was a monk teacher and a monk student. Those people who laugh, you know what I'm saying. Did you heard about it? You don't know. Okay. There's a monk teacher and monk student. Monk teacher was from the older generation. Monk student was from the today's gadget generation. What is that? Facebook, Instagram, Reel, WhatsApp, this generation. And the teacher is from the elder generation. No idea of what even email is. So the monk student, the teacher was saying that you have to follow the rules very clearly. And the monk student was so confused. Okay, are we allowed to use the emails? He was worried. Then I have to check with my teacher. He went to the teacher who had no idea about emails. Sir, can the monks use emails? And the teacher was so confused. What is email? He had no idea. So the safest thing for him to say is that, okay, as long as there's no attachment, it's fine. You can use emails. As long as there's no attachment, right? You can use emails, it's fine. Didi, is fine? You don't want to use the attachment? To emails.
My emails don't have attachment.
Huh?
I don't have attachment to email.
Okay. You belong to the elder generation. You're very young. How come? So she uses email without attachment. You never attach files? Now she understood it. You're getting it? You attach files? Sometimes. So sometimes you have attachment. Okay. So what I'm saying is that so the teacher, what he understands by the attachment and what is the student in the context of computer attachment, these are very different. You're getting it? So the teacher because the teacher has no idea about the attachment in the computer context. So that for the teacher, attachment means desire. Don't send your emails with desire. You're getting it? So attachment has a very different context, different meaning in the computer context. You're getting it? So we have to know the context. Whenever you use the words, don't try to interpret in your own ways. And don't think that I'm restricting. This is how the language works. Okay, so on the contamination, this question. What is meant by contaminated karma? For this, we have to know what is contamination. Contamination means afflictions. Contamination means afflictions. So those things which are affected, those things which are afflictions or affected by afflictions, they are known as contaminated. Those things which are afflictions or affected by afflictions is known as contaminated. For example, say craving for cheesecake, and then act of getting the cheesecake. This act of getting cheesecake is affected by the craving for cheesecake. Craving for cheesecake is attachment. So this attachment that affects this action, right? And say the act of getting cheesecake to benefit somebody else, give it to a poor person, right? That is not out of craving. It's the same act of getting the cheesecake. So getting cheesecake, this act of getting cheesecake can be done through different motivations. One out of attachment for yourself. One out of wanting to help somebody else. So motivation is very different. So when the action is driven by the, okay, let's put it like this. Contaminated karmas. is those karmas which are affected by the afflictions.
So it's necessarily bad karma.
Not okay. This is a good question again. Look, we need Nidhi. So doesn't mean that the contaminated karmas should necessarily be negative karma, negative. So what I said is that contaminated positive karmas and contaminated negative karmas. So Didi's question is, how can they be contaminated positive karmas if contaminated has connotation of afflictions? Afflictions destructive. So the karma should be destructive. This is a question, right? Okay. This is amazing. Yeah. Amazing. Anybody who wants to give the answer? How can they be contaminated and yet positive karma? Anyone? This is Didi's question. Okay. This is Samsala. Wow, Didi's questions are so good.
An example could be a meritorious action or a virtuous action such as generosity. So giving something but wanting something in return.
Okay. Okay, that's interesting. Giving something with a motive to get more. Give 10 rupees and expecting 100 rupees. Right?
Even a thank you, wanting appreciation, for example.
Or you wanting appreciation. Okay. Is this generosity? I would say yes. It is generosity, right? It is generosity. Okay, then Shugila.
A soldier that needs to shoot a person because he needs to protect the innocents.
Nation. Okay, say this. Okay, they say sometimes we bring examples which can be little controversial, or say the medicines oftentimes there's a label, it bears a label which says keep out of reach of children. We are all children, you're getting it? And in these drugs, you don't bring these drugs which says keep out of reach of children, you're getting it? Like wars and so forth. If you bring this up, then so we're not prepared for these. Although we can discuss when our minds become more matured, then we can discuss on these things. But at the moment, wars, and then honestly, that's true, honestly, what should be done, and this negative, no, it's good, and sister, no. Okay, so the wars and so forth for the time being, right? And some of you, because I said for time being, keep it just low profile for time being. And some of you want to make it. And in the group discussion, why he's saying like this? Why not discussing here? He said he would be open, raise any question. Now he's stopping, right? Okay, so keep out of reach, don't forget it. Keep out. When we say democracy, it doesn't mean that you can do anything. There is rights and duties. You're getting it? So this question is a very serious question, but for the time being, it can be discussed on a higher level where somebody is more matured. You're getting it? Okay, the Jimela.
Intention.
What? What's the question?
Like
Giving answer.
Didi. Yes.
Like even if I like give you a chocolate, but my intention is not good, that's not counting like the good deeds.
Okay, so Jimela is saying that like what on the Samsara is saying that you give something, generosity, but with the intention of expecting something in return, like thank you or anything else. So then it becomes your act of generosity becomes a little tainted with the expectations or the intention. Wrong intention is tainted by the wrong intention. Good. Okay, Pinzoli.
Geshe-la, just as we have discussed yesterday, the example of having a dream, like having a dream of audience with His Holiness and having a cup of tea. So it's a very pleasant dream. It's a very positive karma, but we are not 100% sure that we will have that dream or not. So it's a positive karma, but it's contaminated because we don't have the freedom that we don't have the freedom to choose that we will have the dream 100% or not.
Okay, so what makes you think that if you don't have the freedom, it is contaminated? Why?
Because we don't have
We don't have freedom. That we agree, right? Okay, so Pinsola is saying that we don't have freedom. This dream is very pleasant, very virtuous, but we don't have freedom. So that is contaminated. So how is the dream, if you don't have the freedom, how that should be contaminated? Anyone? Anyone? Okay, yes, Kunjole. How, if you don't have the freedom, is contaminated? Contamination is affliction.
Because we see the dream as real, we see it as objective.
Okay, we see dream as real. Okay, let's not say objective for time being.
Okay.
Let's say we see dream as real, which is seeing the dream as real is wisdom or
Ignorance.
ignorance. So, say, Didi, in the innermost circle, what do you see? In the innermost circle, what do you see? Innermost circle. Yes, what do you see? 3 animals. And what is the third one? Pig. What does the pig symbolize? Ignorance. So what she's saying, and ignorance falls under the innermost circle, it depicts what? Affliction or karma? Innermost one. Afflictions. So the 3, they are afflictions. So what Kunjola is saying is that seeing the dream as real, seeing the dream as real is ignorance. So that ignorance is contamination, affliction. So therefore, this act of generosity in the dream, although it is generous, it is virtuous, it is positive, but it is tainted by the belief that dream is real, ignorance. So it's tainted by ignorance, therefore it is contaminated, positive karma. Wow, only today the Didi, her sense of approval is really full. Kunjola made it. Thank you, Kunjola. Otherwise, I found it very difficult. Okay. Yes, Peter. Yes. Mike.
There was this question with the chocolate, or when you give chocolate, but with bad intention.
Yes.
Is it even good karma if it's with bad intention?
Yes, exactly. Same question I want to ask. And they are saying that yes, it's good karma. So how is good karma? Ejigmela and the Tenzi Samzala, both of you. So, I mean, Peter, thank you. I asked the same thing. They are not listening to me.
For individually, it's depend on the intention. But others seeing it's oh, he's giving a chocolate. That's a motivation for other people. No, doing a good deeds.
Okay, so Peter's question is it positive karma or not?
That's depend on me, how I giving him or her.
Is it positive karma or not? It is tainted.
Tainted.
It is the contaminated, but is it positive karma or not?
Not positive karma.
No? Yeah. Then we are talking about the
positive,
contaminated positive karma. This is Samsana, how would I explain it? Say the generosity with expectation of thank you in return.
I think, all positive karma with the appearance of intrinsic reality is contaminated. So even though this is contaminated...
So can you explain it? Okay, theoretically what you said is just amazing. The picture that you gave is so good that all karmas influenced by the belief things object real, these are all, however positive that is, if tainted by the belief that things object real, this is contaminated karma, the positive karma. But how do you explain this? Generosity with expectation of thank you in return, is that positive karma?
I think it's still positive karma because the action is generosity, which is the first paramita, and it gets you in the right direction of at least the habit becomes to become more generous, and then eventually, hopefully, the mindset.
Generosity of 10 rupees and expecting 1,000 rupees back? Positive karma, not positive karma.
The act is still positive.
Okay,
karma.
So I agree with both of you. I would say that in a way, let's say that the karma, your generosity say if you ask you to give 10 rupees, you easily give. 100 rupees, okay. 1,000, no. 10,000, no way. You're getting it? So look, the degree of your generosity is reflected in this. So 10 rupees, generosity is there. But you expect, thank you. Expectation is there. So this expectation, say the generosity is like 90%. And you expect 10%, thank you. Right? So 90% of generosity and 10% of thank you expectation tainted too. So which is stronger? Generosity is stronger, or expecting thank you is stronger? Thank you is 10%. Expecting thank you is 10%. And the generosity is 90%. So 90% better, this is virtuous. Whereas the generosity is like 40% and thank you is 60%, then is not. As I said earlier, 10 rupees, you give 10 rupees and expecting 1,000 rupees, this is not generosity at all. This is exploitation. Okay, good. Next, so karma, we see that this affliction, innermost circle which depicts affliction, that serves as a motivation, that serves as the trigger to give rise to the actions. And actions are two kinds. Contaminated positive karmas and the contaminated and the negative karmas too. And the positive karmas, we see that there are three beings there, three beings depicting the human being, god and goddess, and the asuras. So with the positive karma, contaminated positive karma will take birth in these three places, higher realms, and with negative karma, they will give rise to the unfavorable realms, animal, hungry ghosts, and the hell realm. Okay. And then what you see in the third circle. Raise hands. What is he? Rahul, what is he? In the third circle? Anyone? Raise hands. Yes. Okay. In the third circle, Rina is saying that you see the 6 realms. 6 realms or 5 realms. This was same. 5 realms means 2 are clubbed together. 6 realms mean the God realm is split into 2. 6. Okay. So these 6 or these 5 are the realms where those beings who are driven by contaminated karmas and afflictions take birth. You're getting it? So the innermost circle and the second circle, these two depict the causes of miseries. And third one is the resultant miseries. Third one is the resultant state, miseries. Then the first two, innermost and second circle, depict the causes of the miseries. Okay, that is done. Now what do you see in the fourth circle? What is in the fourth circle? Anyone? Over there? Okay, that's amazing. You are seeing dependent origination. Okay, that's amazing. Anyone else? How karma is formed? Anyone else? What is it? Yes, Abhishek. 12 links of dependent origination. What is the name of this girl? And Stanzen Palki, what she said is correct. She just said dependent origination. The full form would be what Abhishek said, 12 links of dependent origination. 12 links of dependent origination. And what the Rina said is a part of it. In other words, so what does it mean by 12 links of dependent origination? To make it very simple, say what we studied thus far is that the innermost circle gives rise to the second circle. Innermost circle, which is afflictions, gives rise to the second circle, which is karma. And how the karma gives rise to the resultant miseries. So we see that there are three factors connected. Afflictions, contaminated karmas, and miseries. How these three are causally connected. How these three are causally connected in detail is explained in the last circle. The last circle is a detailed explanation of how the innermost gives rise to the second, how the second circle gives rise to the third. You got it? Okay. Now we're going to quickly go through the fourth circle. Fourth circle, we begin from the top, top, the fangs of the demon are to the right side. To the right side, right top right of the demon's fang. What do you find there? You find a blind person. Okay, this depicts the first link, which is ignorance. And if possible, we try to remember all the 12 links. We try to remember the 12 links. It's not difficult. It's just it requires a little bit of practice. A little bit of practice, then it will come to us. 12 links. If you have these on your fingertips, in a way, is a great exercise for us. And training, mind training. And these people who can remember these things, learn how to remember these things, the chances for you to go through dementia and Alzheimer's in your late part of your life will be very remote, right? Okay, how many of you don't want to suffer Alzheimer and dementia in the last part of your life? Raise hands. Are you serious? Then practice these 12 links. Learn this 12 links by heart. You're getting it. This will make this rewire your brain. And new synaptic connections will be created. And then you practice more, synaptic connections will be very stable. That when you grow age 80, 90, 100, still your memory is so sharp. You're getting it? Synaptic connections, they're so stable and they're not broken. That way the memories will be there. So after age 30, memory is fading away, raise hands. Who experienced that? After age 30, 40, memory is fading away, right? What you ate this morning, I forgot. Right? Okay, what time I arrived here? Not sure. Raise hands. Okay. So what is the problem is the synaptic connections are not strong. You just encounter with the situation, neural firing happens, and then because synaptic connection is not stable, it breaks apart. So next time you want to remember, it doesn't come because the synaptic connection is not there. So you practice more and more. Synaptic connection newly created. Once created, still practice more, it'll be stabilized. So, my teacher, for example, like Venerable Geshe Dorji Damdul, already 96. Just listen to him, and he'll help you to remember things. You're getting it? Okay. So, with this in mind, the 12 links, the first one over there, the symbolizes ignorance. Okay, now, be very little careful, because why I'm saying this is that I may switch here, jump here and there. Meaning with the 12, I may jump here and there. You should remember where I jumped. You're getting, don't just passively follow. Okay, the first is the ignorance. For example, say with ignorance. Oftentimes, they say even otherwise as well. We see that many of our wrong deeds, wrong actions are because of our ignorance. Right? Say we presuppose something. We are being judgmental. We create our own opinions. And on that basis, then you judge the other person, or this person like this, like that, and so forth. And when you actually see the person, meet the person, and gradually you come to know this person very different from how I perceived earlier. So because of your perception created, then you treat the other person negatively. So therefore, the first is the ignorance. Ignorance is the root of all the problems. So what we said of the 5 points, what is the last one? Find root cause of the suffering. Self-grasping ignorance. Ignorance is the root cause. It's for this reason that the Buddha emphasizes so much on cultivating wisdom. And for the wisdom, so much emphasis on the philosophy and psychology. Okay, ignorance. With ignorance, then what do you see in the second? What is the second? Raise hands. Raise hands. Okay. Lady over there, your name? Noha. Yes, Noha, please tell me. What is in the second?
It's the pottery that is karma.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, in the second, what do you see? A potter.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. Okay, don't intimidate me. Right. You say, yeah, I'm scared. Right. Okay, you are right. So you see a potter and the different pots around, different sizes, different colors, right? So Tell me, who decides the different shapes, different colors of the pot? Who decides? The potter decides. Likewise, what kind of birth that we're going to have? What kind of birth? Healthy, not healthy, and so forth. And this is all decided by the potter-like karma. So second one is the karma, contaminated karma. Second one. Okay, now what do you find is the third? What do you find? What is in third? Okay, spell kit. Monkey. You say monkey. Okay, yes. Yes, there's a monkey there. What is that monkey?
He said mind.
Oh, you say mice.
Mind.
Oh, you see mind there. That's amazing. I thought that we cannot see the mind. Monkey depicts the mind. Okay, I do not say what it depicts. I said, what do you find there? Okay, she finds the monkey, and behind that, the depiction is also what she found. The consciousness. Thank you. Okay, the third one is the consciousness. What Pelgi said is correct. Consciousness, and depicted by the monkey. So how the monkey depicts the consciousness that, let's say that we're here in India, and then let's say that we die, then we take birth in where? Amitabh.
America.
Okay, is there anybody from America? Raise hands. America from one? Anyone from America? So now we discovered that America is a form of nirvana. Right? After death, we're going to take birth in America. Okay, let's say, okay, we die in India, then we take birth in America, right? Okay, let's say. So when we die, what happens is that we leave the body. We leave the body of this life, and then the mind travels to the next life, to America. Right, to America, and then American parents. You get the body of the American parents. Okay, so it's the same mind which travels, but the body is different. Two different bodies. One body you discard, and then the new body you acquire. You're getting it? So two bodies, they are the depiction of they're depicted by the two trees. The monkey jumping from one tree to the next tree. The two trees symbolizing the two bodies. Leaving the first tree is leaving the body of the past, the former life, and then jumping to the next tree. Next tree depicts the body that you acquire of the next life, American body. Right? Okay, Rina, next life guaranteed. Okay, so who's that? I don't know whether George Bush or Harris. They have to prepare the what? Citizen's card for her. Okay, so that is number 3, the consciousness. Okay, why consciousness here? Why consciousness? What's the link? This is very important. Connect the first link with the second with the first, third with the second, fourth with the... So this is how we have to create the link. What's the connection between the second and third? Second one is the karma. Yes, okay, Rina?
So when we take rebirth of consciousness,
Okay, Mike.
So, when consciousness, this monkey mind travel to another body, this carries imprint. I think that is karma.
Wonderful. Thank you. Second one is the karma. And how many karmas we accumulate in this life? Raise hands. How many karmas we accumulate in this life? 2, 3? A lot. Dijala, how old are you? 25. 25 karmas? How many karmas accumulated? Infinite karmas are created. Okay, how many you agree with Dijala and Peter? Raise hands. Yes, we accumulate infinite karmas. And karmas, there are 2 kinds. There are many ways of classifying the karmas. One way of classifying karma is projecting karma and the ripening karma. Let me repeat it. Oh no, projecting karma and the completing karma. Karma, there are so many ways of classification, one way of which is projecting karmas and the completing karmas. Two. Projecting karma is complete. This is what we have to know here. And then the karma that we are discussing here is predominantly the projecting karma. What is meant by projecting karma? For example, let's say that say you move, say, from your college, then you get a job, and then you buy a house, right? House. How often you change your house? You buy one house, and next month again you buy next house, and you sell the first one. How often you do that? Hey, you can guess if you're quick. Vera, how often? Not often, right? In most cases, one. So say, for example, say projecting is that, okay, how many you have taken birth in this life? 1 or 2 times, 3 times? How many times? Only once, right? So your karma, there's one class of karma whose job is to project you, throw you in the particular life. So this life we are thrown as a human being. And so this human being continues for like whatever number of years you live. This is, we are projected with this one karma, projected. So projecting karma operates the one at a time. But the completing karma operates, millions can operate simultaneously. For example, you are born as a human, That is a projecting karma. And as a human, let's say that you are born in the good environment. Good or bad? Good environment meaning good weather. Good weather, but the weather is so good, but the road is not so good, right? So you have to walk, and you have to depend on a car, a taxi, and the taxi driver happens to be a little rude. You're happy, not happy, not happy. So we see that meeting with the wrong taxi driver, that is the negative karma, completing karma. And then at least having a taxi for you to travel, this is also good. And then good weather is because of the completing karma. And because it's too good, wherever you go, you suffer. You understand what I'm saying? You're always in Deer Park, very beautiful weather. The moment you go to Delhi, you suffer. Right? Delhi people, the moment they go anywhere, they enjoy. Right? Wherever they go, they enjoy. Any weather is fine. So beautiful. You're getting it? So let's say, because of this, the completing karma, millions can act simultaneously. For example, somebody can be born, let's say, with some kind of disabilities. But the person is born with a very good environment, people, neighborhood, people all there to support you. So with some disabilities or some drawbacks, limitations, that is the result of negative karma. But people, very helpful people are there. These are because of your positive karma. And one day, these people all again dispersed, and you are left alone. Again, that is because of the negative karma. These are all completing karmas. Projecting karma operates only one at a time, and the completing karma operates. Millions can operate simultaneously. Let's not forget it. And the karma that is being discussed here, the second link, the karma symbolized by the potter, that is the projecting karma, not the completing karma. You getting it? Okay. So how many such projecting karmas accumulate in this life? Innumerable karmas accumulated. And these karmas, but projecting karma operates only one at a time. Next life, only one karma will operate, projecting karma. And what happens to remaining karmas that you've accumulated in this life? They will all be carried by your consciousness, which Rina said, symbolized by the monkey, which your mind carries from one life to the next life. So this is the monkey number 3. Okay, we'll stop here. Okay, Benla.
Geshe, you said that the completing karmas can operate millions simultaneously.
Yes.
So does it mean simultaneously with the single experience or simultaneously in a single lifetime?
Single moment. I would say experience and moments is so different. I say, while we are here, I say somebody can have, let's say that I have a stomachache. Let's say stomach is because of the no, stomachache. It's because of the negative karma, negative completing karma, right? And meanwhile, there are people who I'm going through the stomachache. Meanwhile, there are people who are helping me. Together, coexisting. There is a positive karma acting simultaneously on the same person. In terms of experience-wise, say the pain and the happiness cannot experience simultaneously together. These two are experienced because the mind has experienced happiness or joy, is not experienced the pain. If it's in pain, not the other side. But you're good. We stop here. Tirtha Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasam Gati Bodhisvatyatha Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasam Gate Bodhisvatyatha Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhisvaha. Okay, how many of you are still little confused with the absence of flower resents? How absence of flower is permanent, impermanent, whatever stuff. Rina, okay, there are many of us here. So we have Gisela here. Bother him during the lunch, right? Bother him. Okay. And also they are from NMC 1. There are many from NMC 1. You disturb them. You bother them also.